We need a new way of making decisions as communities. Whether it's within our federal government or locally within our schools, the status quo is not working. The issue lies within the system itself and the brand of representative democracy that underpins it. Right now, we have nothing to replace it. However, I believe a new form of democratic decision-making is possible, and my research concerns the steps necessary to turn that vision into a reality. We seem to fundamentally get that we should be able to participate in the decisions that have impact on our lives. We've seen this in the Occupy movement and in plenty of organizations where people are gathering, discussing issues, and making communal choices. Yet none of this has translated to a larger long-term shift in democracy. This for two reasons: the lack of practice and the lack of continuity. Here's where I'd like to propose a partnership between our schools and our public media organization, the CBC. I think it's fairly obvious to turn to schools when it comes to a systemic lack of decision-making practice. Where better to learn communal decision-making skills than in a learning community where the boundaries are defined and investment and participation is intrinsically high? Some schools are already taking up the challenge, involving students, parents, teachers, and queries about everything from curriculum to funding to the length and organization of the school day. Once again, though, we're left with this continuity quandary. Schools like the Windsor House in North Vancouver and Seven Oaks in Winnipeg remain individual instances, largely disconnected from one another. We need something to tie it all together. This is where the CBC comes in. Given the CBC's availability throughout Canada and its mandate to develop national consciousness, I believe that we can use the structure and the legitimacy of our public broadcaster to weave together these democratic nodes into a larger cross-community narrative of change. My research will focus on three themes: service, support, and the story. With regards to service, I'll be looking at ways that schools can talk to each other across geographic divides. I'll be exploring the creation of online communities, integration of social media, and closed-loop strategies of dialogue. For questions of support, I'll examine how to run my proposed partnership. This includes methods of funding, incentivizing structures for extended participation, and the regulation necessary to maintain legitimacy at the multiple levels of discourse. Finally, the focus on the story begs the question: how do we write a democratic narrative that binds us together as a nation looking for change, while still maintaining the vibrant diversity of our local communities? This broader philosophical inquiry will serve as the theoretical underpinning as I continue constructing practical models for locally grounded, large-scale change. There is no good reason to privilege representative systems of decision-making other than the lack of viable alternatives. By growing self-governing communities in our schools and connecting them through a partnership with the CBC, we can build the possibility of something better.